RC Charge Dragon was absolute meta at every town hall level, but does it still work the same after the Eternal Tome rework? Well, let's find out. This is the general army composition of this strategy. The important things here are the invisibility spells and RC with her equipments. Rest of the things are pretty much adjustable. Alright, the idea is very simple here. We want to charge our RC into the base and keep her invisible with all the spells to take down as much value as we can before we run out of the invisibility spells. But most importantly, we want at least 1 or 2 key defenses with her. After the RC charge, we will follow up with the dragons and dragon riders. We will use king and queen to funnel them into the base, so they can move in and clear out rest of the base. Sounds great, right? So here on this base, we will charge the RC into this scatter compartment and push her towards the eagle. We will use her ability right away to get some long-range shots in the beginning. And once she gets into the range of defenses, we will start using invisibility spells to keep her invisible and charge further into the base. She will clear all these things and create this perfect narrow path through the town hall for the dragons and dragon riders. They will move like this. We will use Rage spell combined with Warden ability to easily get through the town hall, and Freeze spell will help us through the back end. King and Queen will create funnel over this flank to keep them centralized, so the dragons can stay in the base and don't get separated. That's the plan. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with deploying the RC. Press her ability right away to make sure she stays out of the range of defenses and snipe them from a distance. This way, we don't have to use invisibility spells right from the beginning. But once she runs out of the long-range shots and gets targeted by multiple defenses, then start using the invisibility spells. The good thing about this strategy is you don't have to be super accurate with invisibility spells. It's okay if you waste 1 or 2, we have so many of them, but try to place them in such a way that RC stays invisible while the defenses around her stays exposed. It's okay if defenses take 1 or 2 shots at her, but don't let her take too much damage, especially from enemy heroes. The main objective is to protect the RC and keep her alive. Alright, we got so much value with the RC. Now let's use the wizards to clean up the trash buildings left behind by her. I am also using a baby dragon to make sure King and Queen stays on the flank and don't actually go into the base. Their job is to create a funnel over this side and keep the dragons centralized throughout the attack. Alright, the funnel looks solid, so let's deploy the dragons and dragon riders now. We will use Warden ability once the dragons activate the town hall to avoid taking any damage from it. It will also get us through the town hall poison. Enemy CC is never an issue with this strategy, because the dragons can take down any CC even without the help of a poison spell. But this particular CC is very annoying to deal with, especially because of that furnace on defense. Now I mistimed the Ice Block spell here, but the main objective of that is to avoid any poison damage from the Town Hall explosion and top up the health of our troops while the Healing Tome from Warden ability is active. It is not necessary though, and you can substitute it with a poison or another freeze spell, but it works great in some particular scenarios. Now this is a more standard approach of this strategy. But up next, I will show you an attack where we take down the town hall with RC charge. So don't click away now. Now here on this base, the town hall is placed a bit outside and it is surrounded by the defenses. So when RC will go near these defenses, then her aura damage will activate the town hall and she can then target and take down the town hall once it gets activated. That's what we're going for. So here on this one, we will deploy the RC here, Then we will use her ability to clear the outside defenses with Rocket Spear and go after the Town Hall. She will take down that whole compartment and create this L-shaped path for the dragons. They will move like this. Since we are getting the Town Hall with RC this time, we will use the Warden ability to get through the high damaging core. King and Queen will clear out this flank to keep the dragons centralized. And we will use the Stone Slammer filled with Super Dragon to support them, just like the last attack. Simple plan. Now let's execute it. Alright, let's start with the RC as usual. Now the reason for using Rocket Spear right away is because this way, we don't have to use invisibilities in the beginning, so the RC charge will be longer and we can get more value out of it. Alright, the Town Hall got activated as we planned. Now let's use the Rage spell to speed her up. It will also help her through the high hit point expos. The main reason why this strategy works so well is because the aura around RC will constantly damage the nearby defenses, while also granting slight healing per second to RC. So she will keep regaining health throughout the attack. And also, the Rocket Spear will provide some extra DPS to the RC, so she will have increased damage output as well. Alright, we almost got the CC as well, which is great for the heroes and dragons later in the attack. Now, you may have noticed that I'm moving faster to the next phase after RC charge. That's because this strategy have time issues, as RC charge takes so much time. So if we take too much time about thinking for the dragon's path, then we might end up with a time fail. Usually RC charge will take well over a minute. So we got less than 2 minutes for dragons and heroes to finish up the base, and sometimes we even get less time due to long RC charges. But in any case, I recommend starting the dragons before 140 mark to avoid any potential time fails. Now mostly people use only dragons in this strategy, but I like to throw in some dragon riders in the mix as well. They are great to take down defenses that are chipping away at the dragons, because dragons usually get stuck on the non-defensive buildings like storages while taking damage from nearby defenses. So dragon riders will take care of them when dragons are busy attacking the mighty storages. Now in both of these attacks, we used a straightforward approach with early RC ability. But up next, I will show you a variation of this strategy with the use of a recall spell. So don't miss out on that. Now in this variation of the strategy, we will also charge the RC similar to the last attack. But instead of using her Rocket Spear ability right away, we will save it this time. So we have to use the invisibility spells from the start, and once we run out of invisibilities, we will recall the RC and then use her later in the attack to snipe some important defenses with her long-ranged shots. This way we will get better value out of her. The follow-up process remains exactly the same. So here on this base, we will charge the RC on this side to clear out this flank. We will not use her ability here and start using the invisibility spells as she moves in. And once we run out of the invisibilities, we will recall her to use later in the attack. King and Queen will clear out the other flank and leave us with this straight narrow path to the Town Hall for the dragons. They will move like this. We will use Warden ability with Rage spell for the Town Hall as usual. And once it goes down, we will redeploy the RC that we recalled earlier to snipe these defenses with Rocket Spear and help through the back end. You understood the plan? Now let's put it together. Alright, let's start with deploying the RC. Notice that we only have 6 invisibilities instead of 8 in this one, because we are going for a relatively short RC charge and not for the massive value like we did in the previous 2 attacks. Now, it is not ideal to run into multiple enemy heroes with the RC, because they can distract the RC from the defenses and do massive damage when she is exposed to them. But if you use the invisibilities smartly, then you can make the RC to ignore the enemy heroes and keep shooting the defenses. Alright, we recalled the RC in time with her ability still intact. Now let's move to the next phase of the attack. You can be flexible with King and Queen's equipments in this strategy. As a matter of fact, I've been using different equipments on the Queen in each of this attacks, because she has 3 very strong equipments in Magic Mirror, Action Figure, and Healer Puppet, so you can use any 2 out of them that you want. And for the King, either you use this standard combination or go with Rage Vial plus Gauntlet, especially if you're planning to walk him on the flank like this. It is not fun to go against the sweepers with dragons, and you should always try to avoid going straight into it like this. But for this particular base, this is the safest path to the Town Hall. So we are going this way, and we also don't have the zaps to take it down like we usually do. Now you can also use only balloons or Dragon Rider with some balloons in the Slammer if you can't get the Super Dragon. But it works great against enemy heroes and also helps a lot to get through the back end. As you might have noticed already, this approach is a bit faster than the regular one, so it is less prone to a time fail. But on some bases, we might get very little value with the RC and have too much of the base left for the dragons to go through. So they might get overwhelmed by that, and we will end up with a fail. So keep that in mind. Take a look at this base. We have Town Hall in the center and 3 single Infernos, which many people believe is hard for the dragons. But that's not the case as long as you have a plan to keep them under control and have a direct pathing into them. So here on this one, we will charge the RC into this eagle compartment and take down all these things. We will clear this flank with the heroes and use the dragons in the middle to go after the Town Hall and remaining 2 single Infernos. Warden ability with Rage Spell will easily get us through them, and we will use Flame Flinger in this one for this back-end scatter compartment. Sounds like a plan. Now let's make it happen. Alright, let's start with deploying the RC. Again, going into double enemy heroes, so we have to be careful with invisibilities. You might be thinking I made the cannon invisible by mistake, but it was on purpose, because as you can see, the RC just skipped the defense after hitting a few shots and move ahead while her aura damage can finish off that defense even when it is invisible. This way, we can take full advantage of the aura damage and make the RC charge more efficient. But keep in mind, it will only work if RC take a couple of shots on the defense before turning it invisible, or else the aura damage will not be able to take down the defense all by itself, especially the high hit point defenses. Now, even though it is still one of the best Th14 attacks, but there are few mistakes you should avoid with this strategy. First is if you completely mess the RC charge and get almost no value out of it. I have already gave several tips throughout the video about RC charge to avoid that. The second mistake is if you waste too much time and end up with a time fail. I've explained thoroughly in the last attack about how to manage time with this strategy, and also bringing few cleanup troops like me will definitely help with that. And the third common mistake is if you mistime the Warden ability and end up losing too many dragons to the Town Hall. I recommend you to practice this attack first to understand how to manage time properly. So this is the Th14 RC Charge Dragon Attack strategy. I hope this video will help you to get better at it. And if you want to learn more exciting Th14 strategies, then check out my Town Hall 14 playlist. I will see you there.